It just happened late last night, and most people still have no idea. In a quiet after-hours decision, the White House has approved $2,000 checks, and the focus is on low-income seniors who are already struggling to keep up with rising costs. While the country slept, a major move was finalized that could directly impact millions of Americans relying on fixed incomes. If you receive Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or you help someone who does, this is information you cannot afford to miss. For months, seniors have been hit hard by inflation, higher grocery bills, rising rent, increased Medicare costs. And now this late-night approval is raising urgent questions. Who qualifies for these $2,000 checks? When could payments actually go out? And why was this decision made quietly, without a major press conference or primetime announcement? Those details matter, because misunderstanding them could lead to false expectations, missed opportunities, or falling for misinformation spreading fast online. What makes this situation even more critical is timing. With the new year approaching, financial pressure is already high, and any form of direct relief could make a real difference. But as always, there's a big gap between headlines and reality. Some people will qualify, others won't. And knowing where you stand is everything. In this video, we break down exactly what was approved, what's confirmed versus what's still developing, and how this decision could affect low-income seniors specifically. No hype, no rumors, just clear, honest information so you know what to expect. If you want accurate updates without the noise, hit the like button. It helps get the facts out to more people who truly need them. Right after that announcement surfaced, confusion spread almost instantly. Phones lit up, social feeds filled with bold claims, and many seniors were left asking the same question. Is this real? And does it apply to me? That's exactly why it's so important to slow things down and look carefully at what was actually approved, what is officially confirmed, and what is still being discussed behind the scenes. Late-night decisions in Washington often create headlines before full details are understood, and this situation is no different. The reality is more nuanced, but it is still significant, especially for low-income seniors who are already feeling squeezed. The late-night approval centers on prioritizing relief for Americans living on fixed incomes, particularly seniors who rely heavily on Social Security, SSI, or other federal assistance programs. Rising inflation has quietly eroded purchasing power, even with recent cost of living adjustments. Groceries cost more, rent continues to climb, and medical expenses are taking up a larger share of monthly budgets. Policymakers are well aware of this pressure, and that context is key to understanding why this decision happened when it did. What caught many people off guard was the timing. Instead of a high-profile press event, this decision came during off hours, which is often when administrative approvals, budget directives, or framework agreements are finalized. That doesn't automatically mean checks are being mailed tomorrow, but it does mean that a pathway has been cleared for targeted relief measures. In Washington terms, that's an important step, one that can easily be misunderstood if you only see the headline. Now let's address the big question everyone is asking. Are $2,000 checks guaranteed for all seniors? At this stage, the answer is no. What has been approved is a framework that prioritizes low-income seniors for potential direct relief. That relief may take the form of a one-time payment, supplemental benefits, or a targeted program administered through existing systems. The $2,000 figure is tied to proposals and budget caps being discussed, not a universal payment order that applies to everyone overnight. The $2,000 figure is tied to proposals and budget caps being discussed, not a universal payment order that applies to everyone overnight. This distinction matters. Over the years, many people have been burned by viral claims promising checks that never arrived. That's why separating confirmed action from speculation is so important right now. The White House approval signals intent and priority, but implementation depends on coordination with federal agencies, funding allocation, and eligibility rules. Those details determine who actually receives money and when. For low-income seniors, eligibility is likely to be tied to income thresholds, benefit type, and possibly participation in programs like SSI or Medicaid. That means two people both receiving Social Security could be treated very differently depending on their overall financial situation. This is one of the reasons misinformation spreads so quickly, because people hear a number and assume it applies equally to everyone. Another factor driving urgency is timing. As the year turns, agencies often finalize budgets and roll out changes early in the new calendar year. If this relief moves forward, it would likely be aligned with that schedule. That's why officials are emphasizing preparation and awareness now rather than making sweeping promises. It's also why seniors should be especially cautious about anyone claiming they can sign you up or unlock a payment early. Scammers thrive in moments like this. Anytime stimulus or direct payments are discussed, fraudulent calls, emails, and fake websites follow close behind. Remember this clearly. No legitimate government agency will ask you for personal information or a fee to receive a payment. If someone contacts you claiming they can secure your $2,000 check, that's a red flag. Staying informed protects not just your wallet, but your peace of mind. Let's talk about why low-income seniors are at the center of this conversation. Fixed incomes don't adjust quickly, and even small increases in costs can have a big impact. A higher electric bill, a rent hike, or a new prescription can throw an entire monthly budget off balance. While cost of living adjustments help, they often lag behind real-world expenses. Policymakers have acknowledged this gap, and that acknowledgement is what's driving targeted relief discussions. It's also important to understand how this differs from previous stimulus programs. Earlier stimulus checks were broad, designed to boost the overall economy during emergencies. What's being discussed now is more focused. The goal is stability, not stimulus in the traditional sense. That's why the process looks different and why it's taking more time. So what should seniors and their families be doing right now? First, stay grounded in verified information. Follow official updates from government agencies and reputable news sources. Second, review your current benefits and make sure your information is up to date. Incorrect addresses, outdated banking details, or unreported changes can delay or prevent payments if relief moves forward. Third, don't make financial decisions based solely on headlines. Until something is officially rolled out, it should be treated as potential, not guaranteed support. It's also worth mentioning the emotional side of this. Financial uncertainty creates stress, especially for seniors who have spent a lifetime planning carefully. Hearing about possible relief can bring hope, but it can also bring anxiety if details are unclear. That's why clarity matters. The goal of this update isn't to create excitement for excitement's sake, but to give you a realistic understanding of where things stand. Behind the scenes, agencies are looking at how to deliver any approved funds efficiently. Using existing systems like Social Security payments is often the fastest method, but even that requires testing and coordination. Accuracy is critical. A rushed rollout can lead to overpayments, underpayments, or errors that take months to correct. While waiting is frustrating, it's often part of ensuring the process works properly. There's also a broader policy conversation happening alongside this decision. Lawmakers are debating how to support vulnerable populations without adding long-term strain to federal programs. That balance is delicate, and it influences how relief is structured. One-time payments are easier to manage than permanent increases, but they don't solve long-term affordability issues. These debates shape what ultimately reaches beneficiaries. If you're helping an older parent or relative, now is a good time to talk openly about finances and expectations. Make sure they know not to trust unsolicited offers or alarming messages. Encourage them to ask questions and seek help if something doesn't make sense. Information shared calmly and clearly can prevent panic and costly mistakes. As this situation develops, updates will come in stages, not all at once. First come clarifications, then eligibility details, then timelines. That's typically how these processes unfold. When you see new headlines, ask yourself what's actually new. Is it a confirmed action or just commentary on existing information? That simple question can save a lot of confusion. It's also helpful to remember that government announcements often use cautious language. Words like approved, authorized, or prioritized don't always mean immediate payments. They describe steps in a process. Understanding that language helps you interpret updates more accurately and avoid emotional whiplash. Looking ahead, the key takeaway is this: something meaningful is being discussed, and low-income seniors are clearly a priority. That alone is significant. But meaningful doesn't mean instant, and priority doesn't mean universal. Staying informed, patient, and cautious is the best approach right now. As more details emerge, we'll continue breaking them down in plain language so you can understand exactly what applies to you. No exaggeration, no false promises, just clear explanations of what's happening and what it means for real people living on fixed incomes. If this information has helped you feel more grounded and informed, take a moment to like the video. It helps ensure accurate updates reach more seniors and families who need clarity, not confusion. And remember, the goal here is empowerment through knowledge. When you understand the process, you're better equipped to protect your finances and your peace of mind as these decisions move forward.